Take off, big rocket blast off jetpack. Woo! Come on and get some. Come on and get some. Come on and get some. Watch me.
Hello and welcome back to LEATT LIVEmaniacs with the legend Chris Birch. I'm Craig Stone and we are in a spectacular, really nice area today here around the Rașinat area at the Carpentier Arena Hotel and Spa. Look at those images from our drone shots. Amazing location here where you can come and just chill out in a really special wellness retreat. Chris, you had a really nice ride across the mountains today from the Alpine region to get here. How was it?
Yeah, this morning was amazing. Got up and had Martin Fernanda, it's the event organizer, as my tour guide. And it's always a stressful thing when you've got someone like Martin leading the way. But yeah, the conditions today are absolutely perfect. We had rain overnight. The temperatures come down. Today's enduro paradise.
No, but the weather is amazing. It was pretty warm this morning. When the sun was out, it was quite hot. But the temperatures have dropped suddenly, and sometimes that can mean a little bit of a thunder shower on its way. But at the moment, things absolutely perfect. The conditions out there, had a walk up the course this morning, up the track, and the soil is not dry and dusty like we've seen the previous day. So we should get a really close racing today in this section.
In this section, the guys were leaving this morning, the earliest parts of today. It was actually almost wet in places.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it would have penetrated under the trees into the more challenging signature sections from Red Bull Romaniacs, but definitely getting a bit slippery. Well,
let's go across there and have a look at some of those images from the start this morning on day 3.
Where are we?
Hi, we are at the paddock start in Offroad day 3.
Long day ahead.
Ready for the third day. Let's go.
Morning impressions from the start in Romaniacs. How's everything?
Don't be alignment.
Morning, Martin. Nice and early, eh? 6:14. No break for the gold cross.
Nope. But you're warmed up now.
I'm warm. Ready for the third day. Let's go.
Graham, another day in paradise.
What can possibly go wrong?
You ready for another day to sleep?
I'll see when I get on the boat.
Manny, ready for another day?
Ready for another day. I hope it's not going to be as long as yesterday. Yesterday was definitely pretty long, but pretty happy with my riding so far. The boys pushed hard, everybody is on fire, the pace is unreal, so trying to do the same thing today and hopefully have a solid day.
I can show them how it's done. Yes, perfect, that's good.
So the riders have been on track since then, and let's go and have a look at the service point where we have an interview with Manuel Lettenbichler, who's leading the race overall.
Oi, oi. Service point. Herr Lettenbichler, kleines Statement.
Was pretty fast today, like really fast. Until we got to the top, I went one time the wrong way a little bit, but other than that, solid riding. I saw Bulldogger at one point. I was like, holy f***, he's riding even faster than me, because I thought I'm riding fast today, but I'm pretty happy with my riding right now.
So Billy has been guiding you today?
Nah, I was guiding him. I was guiding him at the top again, so I think I passed him off the Forgotten Trail.
Where did he pass you in Forgotten Trail?
Before,
Yeah.
because I went the wrong way, and then I passed him back afterwards and was leading the way out of the bushes.
Alrighty.
Yes, this morning, I think the story for me is Billy Bolt. He looks like he was on a charge. I snuck out again early this morning to see some of these gold sections, and the gap was very, very small as he came through. It actually caught me out. I almost got in his way. Wasn't expecting him to be there. And there was a big, dirty climb straight out of a valley, and just not a moment's pause, moment's hesitation, just saw the line, 100% committed, and blew through that section like it was nothing, and it was not nothing.
Yeah. So that's quite cool then, because we've seen up to now Billy being a little bit more conservative, well, in some instances, but also a little bit too aggressive, and I think that's been to his detriment so far. Today, it looks like he's calculated and he's super focused to try and close that gap.
Yeah, I think the word you use there, calculated, is perfect, and that's something you definitely need to be in an event like Red Bull Romaniacs that's so long, but offers you so many different opportunities to get it wrong.
Yes, and I would say Manny Lettenbichler looking a little rattled there at the service point where he had the interview with our event founder Martin van Oudemetz, which is a little bit unusual. You know, Manny's always super calm, collected. Almost expects that, not expects, that's the wrong word, but he's so good that he is always the first one out there, always on top. And as you said, he actually, apologies for his language, but he said the Bulldog was on his case and chasing him down.
It's probably been a while for Manny since he'd looked over his shoulder and saw another competitor. It's been a couple of years, right?
Yeah, it's been, I mean, he's got 5 wins now. And the gap that he had yesterday was 16 minutes. And because Billy's closed him down, so at the moment as the race progresses right now, Billy is 2.5 minutes ahead of Manny. So he's closing down. Hopefully he can just keep pushing hard and make it a little bit more, because we've only got 1 day left, and if Manny's got at least 10 minutes in his pocket, anything can happen, but that is quite a bit.
Absolutely. I think that the huge thing for Billy will be just that mental boost that he's going to get. Like, man, actually, this is on. I can beat this guy.
Yeah. And I think the conditions suiting Billy today as well, because it's been so super hot the last 2 days. Now it's being a little bit cooler, sort of more what he's used to. I think he's feeling at home.
I hope so. For the sake of the race and the excitement that's building, I want to see Billy on his game.
So let's go across to the signature section from this morning, and we can have a look at some of the actions that we saw from the riders. And apologies, not the signature section from today, but yesterday's action. So let's go and have a look at yesterday's action of what they had to conquer.
Offroad Day 2 took riders deep into the mountains for a brutal 183 kilometers of non-stop signature sections under scorching heat. The day opened with Twister, instantly testing the Gold Class Elite. Out front again was Manny Lettenbichler on his KTM, calm, calculated, and unstoppable. He led from start to finish, holding off a hungry chase pack. Behind him, Billy Bolt fought through exhaustion, losing his hydration pack early on, but still pushed hard to take second place, just over 8 minutes back. The battle for third was fierce. Mario Roman edged his Sherco teammate Teo Kabachiev by barely a minute. In the punishing Via Ferrata LIVEmaniacs section, steep climbs and switchbacks forced riders to the limit. Lettenbichler opened fresh tracks with precision, while Bolt and Roman traded moves on the gnarly switchbacks before Bolt sealed his overall second fastest time. As the gold class wrapped up in Ramnicu Valsea for the marathon night, Lettenbichler retained his overall lead, Bolt moved up to second, and Roman closed the gap. Meanwhile, in the Adventure Ultimate class, Johnny Walker came back swinging after day one setbacks. The Triumph rider dominated the big bike field, clawing back time on leader Pol Terrace. Romanian talent Cristian Tampa grabbed third, sitting just 1 second behind Walker overall. Off-road day 2 was an epic day of endurance, precision, and raw determination. And we're only halfway through Romaniacs 2025.
So the riders had a very long day out yesterday. Fairly well. Manny said in the finish a little bit of an easier day, but it was long, so it has taken its toll. Great to see some of the other classes in their big, tight competition. Johnny Walker got a big fight against Pol Terrace.
Absolutely, and with this being the marathon stages, it's that word's true, marathon.
Yeah.
Right? It's a long, long time on the bike. And even these two stages have had a liaison in the middle, and traditionally a liaison is you just, you're cruising down the road, easy. This is Formidable Romaniacs. Even the liaison, you're up on the foot pegs, bouncing over rocks through puddles, and that all just continues to wear you down as this event carries on.
So let's take a flyover of the day for today on day 3 of what we can see the riders taking on. So from the start where they had the overnight at the bivouac in Rimaka Vulture, they had Mad Day Mom, which was a signature section, a really tough section. We can bring you some footage from there through the Forgotten Trail, and then on that liaison that Chris was talking about, it's a 52-kilometer liaison that they had to do, which is can feel pretty long. It can. We gave them 2 hours to do that, and then from the liaison, they're going to make their way across here to where we are at the LEATT LIVEmaniacs. From the LEATT LIVEmaniacs, they've got a fairly short ride. It's going to take them around 25 to 30 minutes to get from this section at LEATT LIVEmaniacs into the finish. So the riders will have a much shorter day from this signature section at the LEATT LIVEmaniacs to get into the finish, which I think will help them quite a bit.
Definitely. I think mentally this is going to feel like the last hurdle of the day.
Yeah.
And obviously the last day is still a full day of competition, but that feeling of clearing this LEATT LIVEmaniacs and just checking the marathon days off, it's going to feel like you're starting to break this event back a bit.
Yeah, so we passed the halfway point, and those that are pushing, like Billy is today, this is where his time is to make his move. So let's go and have a look at that signature section that the riders had to tackle this morning, first off the start. So that was a great first section, Chris. And those big hill climbs, how much fun are those climbs where you just hooking gears and going full gas?
When it goes right, one of the best feelings in the world. And that was the section I got to sneak out and watch this morning. And it was so impressive, just that full commitment out of that gully. And it was really interesting watching Mario and Theo riding together there.
Okay.
They're both the teammates in the Sherco factory team. They looked like they were racing each other for the last 10 kilometers of the overall win. They did not look like they were working together as a team in any way. It was all on.
All out action. So we are expecting the riders in this section now of the LEATT LIVEmaniacs at Cliffhanger. But let's have a quick look at the Alpine areas where we had some beautiful scenery of the riders going over the Alpine regions.
Woo! It's so beautiful up here. Incredible. Bravo, benim bir anlam.
Some absolutely beautiful scenery in those Alpine regions as you come over from Rumaka.
It is. It's stunning. I was fortunate enough to ride the KTM 39 Adventure bike through there this morning.
Big boy.
Not on those trails, I would like to admit, but through that region. And it's such a pleasure and such a privilege to be able to ride a motorcycle through those mountains.
Yeah. It's quite high, but the altitude that they're riding at there is around 2,600 meters. So it's super high up. And the views, you get a sort of 360-degree panoramic view of the area around you. It's absolutely stunning. But we've also had a bit of drama from yesterday. Do you want to let us know what's happened?
Now we've got to be the bad news bears. We have lost a few of the top guys out of this event. It is a rough, tough sport, and we've lost a couple of guys along the way. Sorry, I made that sound really bad. They are alive. They're just out of the race. Unfortunately, Alfredo Gomez out with a broken hand. I saw him at the DSP at the service point, and he had a very nice splint made up out of some tape and a teaspoon. But he's not going to be any further in this event, unfortunately.
So that was yesterday at the marathon bivouac where you saw him?
No, that was at the service point today.
At the service point today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking a bit sad, as you would be. Shame. No one wants to go out of this event with an injury. And the really disappointing one for me, Teo Kabakchev out this morning with a broken wrist. Not in one of the most extreme sections, just in the more sort of in between enduro sections, and hit a cross-angled log with the front wheel too fast, and or not the correct manner. Lost the front end, and unfortunately has broken his wrist. So I hate to see that happen, and just hopefully it can heal up quickly for him. He can be back in time for his next competition, for the next World Championship round. Yeah,
we really wish that Teo is going to be okay and that he will recover quickly. It's a really big disappointment to lose him in the race because he's been one of those guys that's so hungry for a win here. He knows the terrain so well, and he's been riding incredibly well. Mario Romano's teammate yesterday lost a huge amount of time. Mario was actually leading the day yesterday, almost up to the LIVEmaniacs section, and then lost 10 to 12 minutes on the other guys in the last 10 kilometers of the race. So yesterday with the heat, I think maybe just really pushing a little bit too hard, a little bit too long in the red zone, and burning all his energy for that last section.
Potentially, I think that LEATT live section yesterday in that heat, I think that would have taken a little piece of every rider's soul.
Yeah,
will be left on that mountainside.
Yeah, it was a really difficult section for the guys to conquer, and Mario would be disappointed in himself for maybe not pacing it, because he's so hungry for the win here. He knows the terrain so well, so it was a pity that he just couldn't maintain the pace. But let's see, today he could be back again. Mario's one guy that bounces back quick. He's got such a strong mind, and he can hopefully get back onto the back of Billy.
And Mario today showing great character, great sportsmanship. He stayed with Theo to make sure that he got the help that he needed, and that he was okay on the track, and he will be accredited back that time. So maybe the time gap that we see him arriving at this section isn't going to be what the results will show at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's correct. So Mario stopping for his teammate Theodore to help him out and make sure that he was okay, as well as Eddie Carlson, who's on the Stark Varg electric bike in the silver class, a massive race going on there, which we can talk about a little bit later. But both those guys will get their time back for stopping to help Theo, because it's the sportsmanship, it's what the camaraderie and safety, and an individual that's injured is definitely the priority.
Unfortunately, more bad news bear stuff. We've also lost Kevin Gallas out of the bronze class, last year's winner on the adventure bike in the bronze class, and he's gone down to a tweaked knee. We don't know how bad that is, but unfortunately he's out of the event as well, which is opening up that bronze class even more.
Yeah, so I can give you some results as of yesterday. So this is not including today's day 3 action. In the gold class, Manny and Billy is the overall leader, and Billy Bolt's 16 minutes behind him. But as you've seen today, Billy on a charge. I think he's almost 2.5 minutes ahead of Manny on today's stages. So he was cutting that lead of Manny's down to around 14 minutes. And then Mario Roman is in third place. He's 31 minutes behind Manny. In the silver, we have Justin Elzindo from Costa Rica. He's having a great battle there with Eddie Carlson from Sweden, who's on the Stark Varg, and the time difference there, just 9 minutes 32. So that can really come down to the last day for those guys, which is great. And in third place, the Hungarian Cornel Ott, 14 minutes. Chris, you know Cornel well. He can also get in the fight.
Absolutely, and he's no shortage of determination, no shortage of stamina there, even for a young fella. He's a hungry rider for sure.
Yep. And in the bronze class, Diego Chang from Guatemala, so he was leading that bronze class. And then Kevin Gaddis, who is now out. So Ying Yang from China would be in second position overall as it stands, 16 minutes behind Diego. And in third, Eddie Findling from Germany. In the ultimate, where we're having such a nice close battle, we saw some images of Johnny Walker coming into the finish yesterday with Manny Lettenbichler. Paul Torres is leading that class, Paul Torres from Andorra, and then Johnny Walker from Great Britain, 8 minutes behind. And in third place is Christian Tampa, the Romanian, only 8 minutes. So the ultimate, a big battle going on there in the ultimate class.
Absolutely, and then I don't think we ever really expected this ultimate adventure class to be such a race. Like, these guys are definitely pushing and trying to milk every section out of this track, and they're taking some risks out there for sure, and it's a race.
And then we can't not talk about the light category on the Adventure Light, where Sam Sunderland is absolutely dominating. Yesterday, even in the liaison section, which was again about a 50-odd kilometer section, where they gave the riders plenty of time, he absolutely destroyed the course 40 minutes faster than what we gave them. You know, we said, you know, guys, come, this use time. You have time. It's not a race. And Sam just going flat out, sort of the only thing he knows.
Yeah, multi-time Dakar champion is not going to be scared of a long day. You guys think this is long? Try 2 weeks.
Yeah, so that's Sam Sunderland is dominating that category in the adventure lights. In second place is Joop Sinek from the Netherlands, and in third place Daniel Fernandez from Colombia. And the last class to mention for now is the e-motor expert, where Sebastian Dadash from Romania is leading that ahead of David Fredinger from Austria, and in third place is Thomas Vermuth, also from Austria.
An interesting thing I stumbled across on the trail this morning was I just got there in time to see Eddie Carlson's team doing a battery change on the Stark Varg.
Oh, that's interesting.
They've Formula One pit stop.
Really?
Yeah, 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yep. And it doesn't take 2.5 minutes. It doesn't take 3.5 minutes. It takes 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah. So interesting, that time gap. You know, if you took the stops for the batteries out of it, Eddie would be right there.
Right up there.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on his team, eh? The times are that close, swapping those batteries out whilst the bike's dirty on the side of the trail.
Yes, and you know, the manufacturers and the teams from Stark were here in full force. They said, we want somebody who's going to compete with the big bikes. They want to go for the win and show that their electric bike can compete with the petrol engines. Let's go across to the finish line where Jesse is and have a look and see what action we have there from the classes coming in.
Hi guys, I am at the finish of Offroad Day 3, and as always, we have a river. Now today there is 3 options to cross this river. We have 2 bridges, one is a bit wider, but the riders will have to take a longer zigzag route to get to it, so they will lose time for taking that route. We have a very narrow bridge, which is a that bit quicker to get to, but there is a high chance you could fall in the water. And we also have, as always, a big jump. And we can confirm not everybody has landed that jump today. So it is, as always, very exciting down here. Now, as I think Chris has already mentioned, we obviously have Theodore out of the race today, and Mario and Eddie will be gaining some extra time for helping him. So that's really great. So we will let you know when there's something else going on down here, and we will have some really good interviews with the riders later on today. Back to you guys.
So we are waiting for the gold competitors to arrive here at LEATT LIVEmaniacs, the Cliffhanger. They're taking a little bit longer than what we expected, so not quite sure what's been going on out there, but maybe a struggle or two here.
A bit of puzzling, a bit of struggling. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. And we have been here before in previous editions at the Cliffhanger. It's not a new section that we're tackling, but it is another extremely difficult one where it starts out with a very difficult rocky section to climb before they make their way across the top and back down.
I can hear a motorbike.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting. Come on. So there we go. Manny Littenbichler is the first to arrive. We're expecting Billy. Here comes Billy.
We were expecting Billy, but we weren't expecting Billy this close. Wow.
Oh, Billy looking so fresh. What's just got something on his boot there, so he's just doing the buckle up and off he goes. He's going to chase after Manny here now.
So what we get to see now is the 2 best hard enduro riders on the planet.
What more can you ask for, really?
Racing around a cliff face, live.
Yeah.
How good is this?
This is incredible. And these guys, such good friends off the track, you know, and but when it comes, when the helmet goes on, they are full on attack mode.
So the guys are going to have to zigzag a fair bit up this section. It'll be interesting to see if Billy can line up, if you can straight line a section that maybe Manny has to zigzag. That's a really big opportunity to make a pass.
And I've been watching the checkpoint times for these riders up to this point where Billy started 3 minutes behind Manny and then caught him, so he sort of closed that gap down. But I'm sure in his mind he's been wanting to find any opportunity to get past Manny, because once we get into this LEATT LIVEmaniacs, the first, he's got the, you know, it's a bit of an advantage to be the first rider on the track. You know, you've got the main race line.
Yeah, especially when it is one line. Like if you make a mistake, the guy behind you has to wait.
Yes.
If you're in second and you make a mistake, the guy in front's just pulling away.
He's pulling away.
So,
oh, Manny just slipping a bike out there.
Speaking of mistakes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it could be that pressure that we were talking about a bit earlier building up, where Manny knows now he's got Billy on his case and he needs to try and break away, but Billy's not going to let him. He's got that hook in his backpack, towing that line, pulling him back in.
Definitely. And what Billy's going to want to do here is make sure he keeps Manny inside so he can learn from his mistakes. Obviously, these guys are the best in the world at picking that line, but sometimes there are choices to make, there are decisions to make, and you have to just give it a punt, suck it and see.
Yeah.
Manny's going to have to do that work, and he's going to be getting that information for Billy as long as Billy can keep him in sight.
So as they came through the checkpoint here when they started this LEATT LIVEmaniacs, Billy is now, for this day 3, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, the overall leader of this day 3, and that's definitely going to help him in the overall, and it's going to cut down that lead to Manny. But Billy needs to just push super hard here, try and get ahead of Manny where he can try and break away.
So you can see Manny just kind of having to take a quick moment to look around and figure out where he's actually going. That's something that Billy's not going to have to do as long as he keeps that vision gap as close as it possibly can be.
And the thing is, in these forest sections, so they're not going at super high speeds, but you have mixed light conditions. You see a lot of dark shade and then bright sunlight. So, you know, depending on what lens you're wearing on your goggles, it can make it a little bit difficult to see where exactly you want to be putting your wheels and which line you're going to take.
The goggles are also a big telltale of how hard you're working. Often in these difficult sections, when your heart rate gets up too high, you're getting too hot, you'll see the goggles come off on the back of the helmet.
Yes.
And as a racer chasing someone, if the guy in front of you does that, you're like, whoa, yeah, he's working.
Yeah, got to get him. And because we saw both these riders coming through with their goggles on and not even hesitating to take them off. We've got quite a nice breeze blowing here now. Sun coming out a bit, but still pretty good conditions here for these guys. As Manny makes his way down, so he's on the downhill. He's probably 10 or 15 seconds away from the checkpoint where he's going to go out again for his second loop. Billy, hopefully not. Okay, so there's Billy going across as well. These guys are separated by just seconds, but Billy definitely going to want to try and get ahead of Manny in this section.
And look where the goggles are.
There we go.
That's not a great sign. Come on, Billy.
Come on, Bill. So Manny, he's off now. Manny Lettmichler off for his second loop here. Up on the Cliffhanger. Not even hesitating on those rocks. We tried to sort of narrow the course there for them to go. There is a bit of a gap there, but Manny just clearing that section with absolute precision. Billy hasn't come through yet to the checkpoint, so I'm not quite sure what he's done or what's happened to him on the downhill. Yesterday we saw him having a little fall over and popping the hydration pack, which could have cost him a bit of energy, but here he is now through on for his second loop.
So now they've got the advantage of knowing where they're going to go. That lap time is going to come down even more, and hopefully Billy can get close enough where he's seen some spots where he can maybe shortcut, take out one of those zigzags and make some time or make a pass on Manny.
Yeah, Manny off his bike here, and we have seen in the past that if you can get enough momentum from the bottom, you can actually clear the section in one go. So Billy may be considering that, but you know, there's still one more day to go. You don't want to just risk everything with still one more day in hand.
I think a good telltale here as well is, you know, Manny was driving on the bike the whole way up there, struggling a little, of course, but not often pushing.
Yes.
That's a good sign. It'd be interesting to see if Billy can do the same thing.
And you can just see the great traction that these guys are getting, especially when it comes to those rocks. You know, the setup they're running, the mousse is so soft, and the tire, especially the carcass of the tire these days, is such soft, nice rubber compounds where the tire sort of molds around the obstacle and just helps them get good drive.
Almost like the motorcycle equivalent of rock climbing shoes now.
Yeah.
If you imagine trying to walk up a trail in normal hiking boots and trying to stick to the rocks, the difference sticking to the rocks with a climbing shoe is the difference between a hard enduro, extreme enduro tire and a regular off-road motorcycle tire.
So Manny Lettenbichler slipping down there, and he did that on the first lap as well. So maybe there's a line he's trying to take that is just not quite working for him, and Billy's got him in his sights again. But with these sections, they can be so close, but it takes a bit of time to get there.
I can remember racing Erzberg Rodeo the first times I ever went there, and we just saw the race organizer Carl Kotash walk past the tent. I was able to have a chat with my friend Daryl Curtis, and I was about 15 minutes ahead on the race course. We could shout at each other.
Wow.
Yeah. It took him 15 minutes to get to where I was.
That's amazing, eh? It just shows you how difficult it is, It's just... you almost reach out and touch each other, but just too steep, too much to get that grip. And having a look at the times now that these two amazing riders took in the first loop of this LEATT LIVEmaniacs. Manuel Littenbichler did his first loop in 4 minutes and 29 seconds, and Billy in 4 minutes and 52. Our estimation here was almost 10 minutes, so these two are absolutely destroying this track.
That was a problem I had this morning trying to get to the gold sections. The guys were going through the nastiest terrain faster than I could go around on the dirt roads.
Yeah, that's just so good. These elite athletes, absolutely top of their sport. But Billy has had to work so hard this morning to get to this point. We are, I would say, 3/4 of the way through the day up to here. He's had to work so hard to get that 2:50 that he had on Manny, but he's just lost 20 seconds already in this short section. If Manny keeps doing this, then Billy's going to pretty much lose all his advantage. So he needs to just keep that fighting spirit. Don't let it get into your head too much. Stop thinking, just go.
I think also this is where your physical conditioning comes in. At no point are you going to have a higher work rate through all of Red Bull Romaniacs than you are in these LEATT LIVEmaniacs sections. Just that having to punch out 3 loops of the most intense riding is just such a huge physical challenge.
And I think for Manny Littenbichler is that, when he comes down the downhill now, he's got quite a distance between where he is now through the checkpoint and up. If he has a look over his shoulder and knows that Billy's not in sight, it will give him so much motivation to keep pushing and know that he's gaining time here on Billy. It's a little loose in that little turn there before you can see him clearing, as we heard yesterday, just clearing that the throttle before he fires his way up.
So Craig, you're great with these numbers. Do you think what we're seeing here is the change of the result for the whole day happening in front of us live?
I would say that could be the case, because Billy lost 20 odd seconds, so he's just come through now on the second loop. We'll know in a few seconds exactly what time he's lost now to Manny, but I think we could see a change in the overall rankings for the day in this section here, where Manny's going to take again the commanding lead.
It seems like this rock climb here is a really key section. It's very easy to lose a bit of time on this section here.
And interestingly, Manny Littenbichler actually slower on that second loop than the first. He was 4 minutes 54, whereas in the first loop he took 4 minutes 29. So a little bit slower. Billy doing almost the exactly same times on his 2 loops. The first one 4 minutes 52, the second 4 minutes 51. So Billy staying consistent. Did Manny make a mistake somewhere? I don't know, but
unfortunately we're seeing Billy often pushing up that, what I think is one of the key sections of this LEATT LIVEmaniacs track, and that's time and energy disappearing right there.
So Manny now, he had a little fall down the first 2 loops at this section where we're watching him now, and he's just taking that cautious approach back on the bike and conserving his energy. Oh, Billy clearing nicely, but just giving. So that's where he was there. There's like a gap of almost 1.5 meters. So it's just, it's a little bit too much where you think you can jump across it. So taking the safe approach to sort of get off and push. But
I love this shot when you can see both guys in the same frame working at it. It's exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the elevation difference in the two. They're so close, and but yet so far.
And this will be tough on Billy too. He'll know how many zigzags he was behind on the first lap, how many zigzags he was behind on the second lap. And this section, he'll be able to see that gap just stretching out a bit.
Yeah, so Billy came into the section 2 minutes 50 on the overall day rankings ahead of Manny and Billy, but now he's only 2:30, so he's lost 20 seconds in those first loops. Manny riding out now here, so from here he knows he's done. He just has to ride across this little traverse off-camber section and then make his way down. So it's a nice riding style there from Manny. Just wait, arms out, weight towards the back, guiding that bike where he needs it to go. And still got his goggles on, so Manny feeling really good in this section. And these are the sections where he really shines, when it gets super, super tech, which is a bit of a contradiction in some ways, because Billy is untouchable in the sort of, like we saw in the prologue conditions. He got so much skill, but when out in these mountains, Manny is just in a league of his own almost.
It looked to me like Billy caught up a bit of time there.
Hopefully he has, yeah.
This is going to be an all-out sprint to the finish from here.
Yeah, so Manny is clear. Manuel Littenberg is clear of this LEATT LIVEmaniacs Cliffhanger. He's done his 3 loops. He's going to make a full push to the finish line now, which is not that far away.
So we're just waiting to see Billy come in. And what's that time gap, numbers guy?
Let's have a look as they come through the scanning. I see now Billy putting his goggles on day 1 at LEATT LIVEmaniacs. We saw him throwing his goggles out. Oh, he is full on the gas there, Chris. Sorry, I had to cut, but we just had to mention that he's Billy absolutely on a charge. He knows he's lost that little bit of time. He wants to make it back and get on front.
Absolutely. And now, with a more open flowing trail that we have between LEATT LIVEmaniacs and the finish, there's only one way to make that time up. Full gas. Full commitment. Take some risks, take some chances, hold that husky wide open.
So you're all right. Billy did do a faster lap time than Manny in that last loop that they did. Billy with a 4:16 and Manny with a 4:19. So only 3 seconds, but super close. But Billy was 40 seconds faster on his last loop than he was on his second. If he had just managed to do that from the beginning, would be a different story.
Man, that is some exciting time racing to be able to see it live right in front of us.
Yeah,
that's
unbelievable.
Yeah, what a treat.
We're not quite sure who our next rider on the road is going to be, because it was Mario Roman, but he was helping Teodor Kabachiev in his injury, so we're not quite sure. It could be Marko Volkner. Marko Volkner had a pretty solid day out yesterday.
Absolutely. My educated guess with the next rider through will be Michael. And we've just heard it's about 8 minutes from the LEATT LIVEmaniacs to the overall finish for the day. So, yeah, keep tuned in for that.
Yeah, Billy is so fast on those open sections. If there's not much between here and there, he could close that gap. He's going to want to be as close to that sort of 10-minute mark to Manny as possible for the last day.
And a real potential advantage for Billy here as well is the section towards the end, towards that finish line. It's quite flat, almost like open plains sort of land, but following trails the whole time. If he can see Manny, he can gain a lot of time because he's not having to navigate there. He's going to have dust to chase. You can really reel someone in those situations.
So let's go across and have a look at a clip of the legend of this year's edition, the game changer, Graham Jarvis.
You're a multi-time Romaniacs winner. What makes you coming back?
It's the best riding in the world, basically. The flowing trails, the difficult stuff, just the country. It's just, I see why people travel so far for the experience.
How would you describe the relationship between you, Romaniacs, the community and the fans there?
I just feel at home there in Sibiu. A lot of friends, and hopefully the fans like to see me ride still, and just a good feeling. Now it's an achievement for me to get to the finish, so still enjoy the terrain, just riding, and then if I'm on the podium it's good, but it gets more difficult for sure.
Do you have a favorite stage at Romaniacs or a favorite moment of yours?
Getting to the finish obviously is my favourite part.
Moment for Graham Jarvis was actually his win in 2022 because, Manny Littenbichler, I think he had won the 3 editions previously, and Graham came back on 2022 full force and took the win there, and we saw Manny actually putting the crown on his head, admitting that he is the king of extreme enduro.
Yeah, there is no shortage of respect for Graham Jarvis around Sibiu.
As Marco Volkner comes into picture now, so this is great. Marco Volkner is in the LEATT LIVEmaniacs loop sections. He looks like he's looking quite calm and collected today, and he knows the section from previous editions, and he knows what to expect, and is going to try and go full attack mode. There you go, you see, so he's just firing that bike up, getting nice momentum to clear that section in one go. Now he's just looking, because he needs to go off to his right now, he's just looking for the best line where he can get the traction down and make it up over the top of these rocks.
And the thinking here at this point, the mindset is, okay, how do I get me and my motorbike up this borderline impossible rock face? With the skill set that I have available and the energy that I have left in the tank.
Yeah.
It's almost like problem solving on a motorcycle.
So Marco Volkner is 2 minutes 29 on the day behind Billy, which is pretty good going. That's, the racing has been so tight.
That's an incredible effort.
Yeah.
See Michael off the bike, pushing and scrumming. Hoping that there's traction to drive forward.
Yeah.
He's pushing that back tire into the ground as hard as he possibly can, trying to smear that soft rubber onto the rock and drive that bike forwards. It's incredible the power and torque range of these modern two-stroke enduro bikes. Like you saw yesterday in the LIVEmaniacs section, the bike's wide open, full gas, and now super torque, super low down power, feeling for that traction almost like a trials bike. And that spread of power and torque that we have available to us on these bikes now is incredible.
Marco just struggling a little bit here to find the right line. He just can't seem to get the hookup and grip there that he wants to get over this rock.
So he's going to keep maneuvering the bike, changing the angles, trying to find the angle that works to get the bike to to bite, get that tyre to bite and drive him through there. He's not just going to keep repeating the same mistake over and over again. He's going to switch it up, change it up, try different techniques, different problem solving to get that bike through there.
So he's made it, he can catch his breath here because he's got 2 switchbacks to do. Where he can, because he would have just pushed a little bit over the limit there to get over those rocky sections, and now he can just bring that heart rate down a little bit and let his muscles recover before he takes on the next section.
That wasn't super pretty, but there's another very important saying in hard enduro, and that up is up. If the bike's up there, happy days.
Yeah. And Mario Roman is just past us now. So Mario Roman is charging through the track here again. He took his goggles off briefly because he knows that the LIVEmaniacs is no easy sections, and he just wants to get as much air into his lungs as possible. So he's chasing down Marco Volkner on this section.
So these guys are taking off. Oh, what's Michael up to? He's trying to bit of problem solving.
Yeah, so this is where we saw Manny Littenbichler slipping down twice on the first 2 loops that he did. So Marco maybe obviously not knowing that Manny made the mistake, but is looking where the other guys have ridden, which lines they've taken, and maybe trying to do the same thing.
And this might be one of those sections that gets harder with every bike that goes past. You know, the dirt might getting pulled out, the rocks are getting dragged out of the ground, the tree roots are getting higher. It can be a challenge. Sometimes it's nice to be first, sometimes it's the track improves with every bike.
And generally here you don't want to ride too much on the other lines where the other riders have been, where the soil has been broken away, because the rocks and the roots, once they're exposed on that thin layer of dirt, are as slippery as ice.
So it'll be interesting to find out how much time Mario spent with Theo this morning with his injury, helping his teammate with his injury. That time will be credited back. So I would not be surprised if Mario is, on time-wise, actually slotted into 3rd place today.
Yeah, and he just had a look over his shoulder before he lost the back wheel there into that rut. Having a look back because he knows when he comes around again, maybe looking for a different line option to take to help him get through the section a bit faster.
He's possibly thinking it would be nice to ride up there rather than push up there next time as well.
Yeah, exactly. So Marco Volkner actually has pulled out a little bit of a gap here on Mario, because we saw Marco going through these 2 switchbacks a little bit earlier on. Mario possibly losing a bit of time there where he slipped in those rocks. But just that little bounce there, Chris, that's an awesome little maneuver.
That was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah. And we've seen Billy, some pictures of Billy in other editions where he's so good at that in the rocks. Uses his weight, he's quite a unit of a man, uses his weight to just use the suspension to bounce the back tire back when the rebound kicks up and put it where he wants it.
So much quicker, so much more efficient if you can pop the bike into where it needs to be, using that clutch, using that suspension compression, then the lifting strap, the struggling strap.
Yes. And interestingly, we didn't see one of those on Manny Littenbichler's bike yesterday. On the Via Ferrata, where he had to pick up his back, I noticed that he wasn't, we didn't have one of those straps on the back. So that was quite interesting for me, because most riders will have one. As we see here, Marco Volkner has one on the front headlight as well. So if he needs a pull, there's an easy place for another rider to come and grab that strap and just give him a pull up the hill.
I always used to call those struggling straps.
Yes.
They only come out, they're only used when you're struggling.
Yeah.
The number one aim is to not have to use those. So just trying to find a way to maneuver the bike to where it needs to be.
So the sun coming out here now and beating down on us in this beautiful area of Carpentier Arena Hotel and Spa. As it's heating up again now, these riders are going to be sweating. So Michael making his way across the top now, and he knows, this downhills. It is pretty steep, as we can see him locking up the back wheel, but not steep enough to sort of overexert yourself. It's in a place where you can slowly relax, get your breathing down, and build up again for the next lap and loop that he needs to do.
Yeah, I would imagine at this point Michael's like focusing on his breathing, like you say, trying to pull that heart rate back down again and get himself in the best position possible to take on this next big climb, whilst sliding down the side of a what is it, 45, 50 degree mountain in Romania?
It's massive. It's massive.
They've, relaxed is, maybe not quite the word.
Mario looks to have made up a little bit of time on Marco Wagner through that last section of rocks that they had to go through, because he's already on the downhill.
It's interesting seeing Mario sitting down there. Like, conventionally, you don't sit down on downhills. That's the only reason he's doing that is recovery, right? Try give those legs a little bit of a rest, a moment's respite, and trying to use this section to recharge the energy bar. The time maybe lost going a touch slower on the downhill, that the bargain is that time comes back to you on the next climb.
So Michael Wagner is scanned now through that first loop of this LEATT LIVEmaniacs signature section he did, and he did a time of 8 minutes and 39. So quite a bit slower than Billy and Manny, as those two were pushing each other super hard. Billy was actually 4 minutes and 52 seconds. And Michael not clearing that section where he is now, as he did on his first loop. So he will be a little bit upset with himself there, because on his first loop, he launched the bike up that section and managed to clear it in one go. And Mario is now right behind him. Mario, so this is what we talked about a bit earlier. When another rider's in your line, you don't have much option. Mario just giving a rev to call out to Marco and say, hey, I'm behind you. Any chance of a overtake?
I think there's almost a little confusion as to what's the best line to tackle here. These guys look like they're trying to create a new line, a wide line, a bigger zig, a bigger zag. But Mario's maybe going to punch it up the inside of him. No, I thought Mario might go for the overtake there. And this is the key, getting the bike to drive up this rock. So we saw Billy pushing up the line to the right more. These guys have gone out further to the left, traversing across rather than driving up. And that might become the new go-to line as it progresses. There you go. There's Mario's overtake.
So there's the overtake, yeah. So Marco Wagner giving up the line to Mario Roman ahead of him. He knows that Mario's caught him and is doing a higher speed, because even on the lap times we can see Mario's lap time was 5 minutes, just over 5 minutes, which was a little bit quicker than Marco, and Marco can use that to his advantage. Oh my word, that is incredible. What riding from Mario Roman.
There's 10 seconds. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Or more. I mean, it took Marco on his first loop quite a bit to get his back wheel over that rock, but that was amazing from Mario Roman.
A really good sportsmanship there from Michael as well, sort of moving aside to let Mario through. And that's a big thing with Red Bull Romaniacs. Like, you're racing the clock as much as anything else, so try to block people and hold them up. That's not really done too much in the sport. It's not really the etiquette. And it makes it a lot friendlier for it. All these guys get on really well. They're all pretty good friends, and I think that's a big part of it.
I'll be very interested to see the lap time of Mario's here once he comes to scan through from his second loop, because he is in an absolute charge, destroying that first section of rocks there that he went over. His first lap time, as mentioned earlier, was just over 5 minutes, so not that much more than Billy and Manny. And Mario knows that he lost some time yesterday and he needs to claw it back, and with a day and a bit in hand, not an impossible task for Mario.
And these guys, they know where they are. They know how close they are to Sibiu. They have a feel from all the history and experience they have here of what the terrain is between here and Sibiu. They're going to know that this is their real last opportunity to make any real time today.
And our two leaders of the race, Manny and Billy Bolt, we are expecting in the finish line in the next 2 or 3 minutes. So we will be cutting back to them in a bit to get some thoughts for the day as we watch Mario off his bike now, doing that pivot turn to get it on the right place where he wants to be.
You can see how much quicker he was through there than Michael. You know, just pivot it around half the time, front wheel on the right spot. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, and off he goes across the traverse down the hill. He's got one more loop to do. I'm expecting a pretty fast time from Mario from the last loop of this LIVEmaniacs. Choosing to stand and just squat over the top of the seat there instead of sitting this time. So Mario definitely looking strong.
Definitely on the downhills, you'll have more control when you're up on the foot pegs rather than on the seat. So Mario's going to be sitting on the bits that he can, so that he has the strength in his legs to stand when he absolutely has to, while still, like we talked about, trying to bring that heart rate down for the next climb.
So Marco Wagner, he's still on this last rocky section, so losing a bit of time to Mario here, because you know, these two were battling really close together, and here's Mario. So Mario is going to scan and go out for his last and final loop of this LEATT LIVEmaniacs at the Cliffhanger.
Little mistake through there this lap.
Let's go across to the finish line with Jesse and have a chat with Manny.
My God, what a spectacular finish today. By seconds, we had Manny reach us first at the finish line. Billy seconds behind, my goodness. What can you tell me about today? You guys must have been so close.
Yeah, all day, basically. And then already before the service, we were like battling pretty good. And then after the service, the pace was definitely super high. The last, it was only like 21 Ks or 22 Ks. And he was coming, and I tried to just stay in front.
Looks like we may have lost signal there from the finish line. But Manny's saying that Billy was on the charge, chasing him all day. And these guys would have got a fresh tyre change at the service point. So, you know, Manny was saying that...
The fresh wheeling, fresh tyres, and other than that, I think that was pretty much it. I bent one lever, but just 10 minutes before the finish. So 10 minutes before the service, so was quite good, still in good shape, the bike.
And what were the most challenging parts of today's? Was it uphills, downhills, technical parts?
I think it was just fast in general. The pace was just incredibly high from Billy, so I really had to also push pretty good to just go this speed, and yeah, pretty happy to be in the finish now, to be honest.
And now with just one day left, obviously being Red Bull Romaniacs, one of our toughest hard enduros, what is in a better state, the mental state or the physical state?
I think both. I feel better today than on the first day, to be honest. So that's pretty good, and we just have one more day to go. I know that's quite a lot of uphills tomorrow, so trying to push there because it's definitely my strength there, and then we see where we end up.
Amazing. Well, we will catch up with you at the finish line tomorrow, where I think you have the hill climb 3 times. So thank you very much, Manny, and get some rest. Now over here, we've got Billy, the winner of the day. Now, obviously, I'm assuming an aim was the podium this year, but how does it feel to win the day?
Yeah, really good. Like I say, I've just kind of followed the same plan all week, really, ride my own pace and just try not to make any big mistakes, because that's what's really ruined any good results in the past. And yeah, so far so good. Like I say, a few small ones, a couple of navigational issues this morning, but caught Manny kind of midway through the morning. It was actually quite a long morning. I was expecting service to come a lot earlier than it did, but yeah, just happy with how I'm riding, how the bike feels, just kind of ticking away, like I said, trying to avoid any big mistakes.
And what parts of the day did you find the most difficult? What kind of obstacles did you come up against?
That liaison was mind-numbing. It was by far the most difficult part of the day. And then with 40 minutes to wait at the other side of it. But no, in all honesty, probably the LIVEmaniacs. I've struggled on all of them, to be honest. I think they've all been quite similar to last year. So obviously the terrain's different and stuff, but just the other guys kind of knowing where the tops of the hills are, or when they the few switchbacks you can kind of take it easy on, I think makes quite a big difference. So I've kind of been going in at them blind and just not really been riding that well in them. So I was pretty happy to kind of cling onto the back of Manny in this afternoon's. I was kind of worried about it all afternoon, to be honest. When we left the service point, I knew that was still to come. So yeah, really kind of happy with my performance to hold on to him through the LIVEmaniacs section today. And obviously on day one, you told us that you hadn't done this many hours on the bike in a very long time. Now, how is the physical state doing going into day 4? So I feel better now than I did this morning, to be honest, but that's all probably going to come crashing down when I get back to the hotel and the cramps and everything sets in. But no, I'm feeling okay. I have felt better, but I've also felt worse at this point of this race. Like I said, I've been in some physical states at this point of the race before. So like I say, I'm happy with how things are working. Made a lot of progress, I feel like, in terms of just how I approach this race. So so far so good.
And finally, we didn't get to catch up with you yesterday. Have you got any big crashes to tell us about?
I had a really big one on the first lap of LIVEmaniacs, which I think they actually saw on camera. A few people sent us the video of. But other than that, none that I can think of at the top of my head, but that also doesn't mean that there wasn't any.
Today all good?
Today, yeah, I had one just before service. That's how Manny kind of got like about a 40-second lead coming into service. And a river, which was, I got out of it okay, but it could have been quite big. But it all goes into a blur, to be honest, but there probably will have been. Someone's probably got a video of me cartwheeling somewhere. But
I can imagine it. And it's absolutely insane. It's hundreds of kilometres, and for it to come in that close at the end, it's all to play for tomorrow, as I've been saying every single day. So thank you so much, Billy, and we'll catch up tomorrow at the finish line.
Thank you. Hopefully.
That was absolutely mental. I don't even know what to say. So back to you guys in the studio.
Chris, before we talk about these two warriors of the sport, my jaw was on the floor when Mr. Graham Jarvis absolutely blasted through this area past us.
So yeah, whilst we've had those interviews, Mitch Brightmore and Graham Jarvis have shown up, and they are not far behind. No. I mean, you don't want to say that's pretty good for 50, but that's pretty good for anyone. It's incredible.
Yeah. But he really came through with such pace through this section here. And so if we just have a quick chat about Billy and Manny, these two know where they are. And we have to mention the racecraft of Manny Littenbichler. Just absolutely in tune with everything that's going on.
Absolutely. That's really Manny's, one of his real strengths. And for me also as well, that was a very interesting interview from Billy. He seems calm, he seems focused, there's no big crazy stories, there's no, you should have seen me crash my brains out down here. It seems like he's riding incredibly well, but also maybe riding within himself a bit more and getting the bike through and getting himself to the end of this marathon. I think tomorrow is going to be a very, very interesting day for those guys battling each other.
Yeah, Billy definitely looking a lot fresher than he has the last few days. And he mentioned that it all might fall apart and fall down when he comes to the hotel, because generally that can happen when your adrenaline has been pumping for so long and you relax. It all comes crashing down. But he will be on it tomorrow.
So we're watching Mr. Smooth, Graham Jarvis, make his way around this LEATT LIVEmaniacs course, and I have no idea how he still does this. It just doesn't make any sense to me, to be honest. It was interesting last night at the hotel at the marathon stage. Shared a lift with Graham, off up to his room with a full family-sized pizza to himself. So he's got the carbs back in. He's powered up, and he's on pizza power today.
No, amazing riding. And like I say, when he came through past our tent area here, he was almost motocross past us, full throttle, not stopping for too long at the checkpoint to go through. As we see Michael Volkner completing his 3 loops and on his way to the finish line.
You've seen David Cyprian. He's obviously had a good day. He's showing up here at the LEATT LIVEmaniacs. We've got a lot of guys out on course at the moment.
And Felix Barker as well came through. Felix had a very, very good day yesterday in the LEATT LIVEmaniacs at the Via Ferrata.
Felix is doing incredibly well. Like, how old did we say he was? 20?
20 years old, yeah.
Like the maturity and the determination at 20 to be able to take on an event like this is, and to be riding at this level, it's incredible. We normally tend to think of hard enduro racing, and particularly Red Bull Romaniacs, as a bit of an experience game. Oh, Graham!
Yeah,
with the
Graham,
pass.
what a pass there. The experience coming through from the man.
Yeah.
And look, it's just using a very different line there. He said, as we mentioned earlier, riding where nobody else has ridden so that he's getting the fresh dirt and the maximum grip that he can.
So it looks like the guys have unlocked another way up this cliff face that maybe looks a little bit easier.
Yeah, he's just taking a second there, Graham Jarvis, before he fires up, and this is his style, this is his technique. He's just laser focused, doesn't listen to any suggestions or talk from people that might be on the racetrack, chooses his own lines of what to do because he is the master of it. Oh,
he's going to need that though. That's his GPS.
Oh my. Usually these guys, I don't know if you're going to catch him on foot. He's too fast.
I'll be back around in 5 minutes, mate. Don't worry about it. I'll grab it then.
Yeah. But generally these guys run 2 GPSs on their bikes. One that's zoomed in to make sure that they're on the racetrack exactly. And then another second GPS that's slightly zoomed out to give them a bit more of an overview. So if he has lost one, he should still have another to keep going. And we are only 8 minutes or so to the finish. The marking from the track managers in these editions of Red Bull Romaniacs is really good. They follow that blue tape, so he should be good even if he doesn't have a GPS. Graham in a bit of traffic again. This is why I was saying he's on the charge. Graham's making his move.
And one thing you can be sure of, you're not going to see any silly, risk it for the win moves from Graham. Every move he makes is calculated. Everything he does, it's for a reason on the bike. There's no wasted energy. There's no big hero moves. He just keeps the mistakes to the absolute minimum.
So that's Mitch Brightmore coming through now. And Mitch Brightmore, we've got a lot of riders in this section because Felix Barker from Germany is ahead of Mitch Brightmore. So we've got Felix, Mitch and Graham all together here fighting for the same line to get out on top. Once they've cleared this section, they will go across that traverse. So they want to try and break the elastic here. And Matthew Green arriving on scene. So that's great to see because Matt had a bit of a tougher day yesterday. But to be here so soon now, he's definitely on the charge.
Unfortunately, Matt had a bit of a shocker here yesterday. He had a lot of mechanical problems, bike problems, lost his rear brake. The bike sounded like it was down on power, but he managed to nurse that thing through and get it through the marathon stage. And it's awesome to see Matt still in this race, to be honest. It was looking a bit touch and go for him yesterday.
Yeah, he was not quite sure of his position because he had lost time. He had an amazing day one, finishing 7th overall. So we got Felix Barker and Mitch Brightmore chasing each other down the downhill. Graham Jarvis seems to have just lost a little bit of touch with these guys now.
When it's this difficult, when it's this extreme, it's just one missed pivot turn, slide off and off camber, one small mistake, you can lose a lot of time. That's very out of character for Graham, but no one is immune from that.
Yeah. So you can see from the GPS holders there, Graham does still have his second GPS. as we see in front of us here, who is that? Mitch
has made the pass on
Yeah.
Felix. I think Felix, again, great sportsmanship, moved aside and let Mitch pass. There's also advantages to that as well. So if someone has caught you on time, they've already caught you in terms of the race. And sometimes it can be faster for you to move aside and try and get on the back of that train and get dragged forwards.
Yeah, just try and put your hooks in and stay there as long as possible to keep you going.
So of course, good sportsmanship, but also can be a good call as well.
We just got a very quick shot there of David Cyprian. So David Cyprian is in this section now as well. Here he is fighting his way up these last sections of rocks before he gets to the traverse.
David Cyprian is one of the most successful privateer hard enduro racers there are out there. He's been in this for a while and had some really strong results over the years as a privateer.
Incredible drone shots here of our area of the Carpentier Arena Hotel and Spa. Fantastic place to come and visit. As we see Graham Jarvis going under the Red Bull Arch and going out for his third and final loop. The master at work.
So this is the real key section here, isn't it? Up this cliff face.
Yeah. And you see him going even lower than his line he took earlier, so he's looking for that fresh dirt. As we see Mitch Brightmore chasing Matty Green, and Mitch is ahead on the road of Matthew Green, so when these two catch up to each other, which is going to be a little bit harder than, or easier said than done. Rigo Rico has also just arrived on scene, so we've got a lot of riders here in this section now.
Definitely, this bunch is very close together. Guys are coming in thick and fast now.
Do you think you have a problem? That's Francesc Morat.
I think the problem is he is hanging. The cramp's starting to come in.
Yeah.
And he's decided the time taken to jam a gel in is time well spent. Graham's not going to have patience to wait for that.
No, Graham's not going to hang around. And this is where we saw Mario Roman clearing the section in one move. Coming up from the bottom, pivot turning around, and there was something as the King is demonstrating.
Yeah, to do all that in one move, wow, that's incredible.
Because the drop, just 2 grams right there, if he just kind of over pivots, you're going to fall back down quite a long way, and it is a bit risky. But
unfortunately, it looks like we've got a bit of a traffic jam here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys all on top of each other. Unfortunately, that is part of the sport here sometimes. It may not be as big an inconvenience as it looks because these guys are all racing each other. The top guys have checked out. They know they're not going to catch Billy Bolt today.
Yes.
So they're racing each other for position. They're around the guys they want to be around.
So Graham Jarvis, he's going to try and make his way up onto that level where Felix Bowker is, as we see Mitch Brightmore closing the gap to Matthew Green. Mitch has got 2 turns there, and Matty Green having a great day out today.
So Mitch and Matty are not no strangers to racing each other, eh? Been fierce competitors all through the junior FIM Hard Enduro Championship seasons, and together on the trail again.
Yeah.
Whether they like it or not.
Whether they like it or not, yeah. And, because Matthew Green had so much momentum after winning those 2 world junior titles, had so much momentum coming into the, what we could call maybe the elite category. And then unfortunately had a bit of sickness to contend with for a couple of months last year, and sort of lost that momentum, but he is slowly building back to the form of where he was and where we know he's capable of being. So Mitch Brightmore coming past us now. We had Felix Balco just below him, and then Graham Jarvis.
Mitch is having a really, really strong race this year, huh?
Yeah, Mitch was, I would say, on my list as sort of podium to top 5 contenders for sure.
Yeah. If you just count one highly spectacular cartwheel on day one.
On day one.
He's having a pretty clean run.
See how Mitch is attacking this downhill, because he's going to want to try and get ahead of Matthew Green, because Mitch is ahead of Matthew on the day.
If I was Mitch, I'd be starting to shout about now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Go, boy.
Yeah. So I would expect to see Matt move over and let Mitch through before they take on this last lap.
Graham Jarvis off his bike again, doing that last pivot turn. So Graham Jarvis should be done now. This is the last time that he's going to go across here on the downhill, as Martin van Oudeman's just shouts some encouragement to him.
So Graham dragging his foot across that off camber. Maybe the hips are getting a bit tired there, old boy. Fair enough too.
Yeah. So there we go. As you see, Graham going down, and now I think this is Felix. Rigo now chasing. I think Matthew Green was just ahead of him.
There's a good, strong contingent from Brazil these days. A lot of supporters here. You're seeing a lot of Brazilian flags around Red Bull Romaniacs this year. And again, it's just so cool how international this event is.
And they're so passionate about their sports, the Brazilians. It's amazing. David Cyprian, so we had an earlier shot. These are the second views of David now trying to get across that gap. And Matty Green pushing his way across this first section of the course here. This is where we saw Graham Jarvis just taking a moment to sit on his bike and reassess before firing it up and over.
We know there are 2 lines here as well. There's for Billy and Manny taking the other line up the right-hand side. So maybe there's a passing opportunity if someone's feeling particularly strong, particularly brave.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Felix waited so far at the bottom. I expected him to maybe try and make an overtake there when Matty just slipped his back wheel out on that rock. So we're waiting for Marco Volkner to make his way to the finish. Shouldn't be too much longer. We should have Marco Volkner or Mario Roman. It's going to be a race between those two to the finish line.
I remember this finish line. You jump that off of a wooden bridge, jump in the creek. I didn't realize it was about an 8-foot drop last year. My goodness, did I hit the ground hard on the other side. Arms collapse, legs collapse.
Yeah.
It is a big impact off this drop.
So we're just trying to pick them out here, but it should be Marco Volkner or Mario Roman, both of them charging this morning to try and take that 3rd place position for the Offroad Day 3.
Mario Roman looked like he was on a mission. Like there's some determination on his face. Volkner looked like he was making his way through the course, and obviously in a great way, but Mario looked like he had the aggression, and
here he is,
there
Mario
you go.
Roman. Wonderful. So that's awesome to see Mario finishing so strong today. And it looks like he doesn't want to hang around for an interview with us. We'll try to get some words from Mario. But what an awesome ride from Mario today.
Maybe he wants to get the water in, get the recovery happening first, then he can tell us about his day. Or He's just full of adrenaline and wasn't sure where to stop.
Yeah. Jesse had to sort of chase him down there. And there you go. Replenishing himself for the tough day that they're going to have ahead of them tomorrow, because Mario's going to come out
So we are here
fighting.
at the finish of Offroad Day 3, and for the first time we've got with us Mario Roman, which is absolutely great. Lovely to see you, Mario. Now, just a quick question before we start on your riding. Everyone's going to want to know what happened with that crash at the start of the day with Theodore.
Yeah, it was super bad. We were helping each other to chase Billy, to try to go as fast as possible. I see he was making a couple of mistakes. I was cheering on him like, vamos, Theo, vamos. And after 20 minutes, he went over the bars with one lock and break the arm. So really bad news.
It's very bad news, but thank you so much for waiting with him, and you will gain some extra time back for that. So it will be interesting to see the final timings at the end of the day. Now, what else can you tell us about the day? What parts have you found difficult, challenging? Because this afternoon you have been absolutely flying, coming first position in a lot of the sections.
Yeah, like after Theo crash, I tell to myself I have 1 hour gap to the fourth guy, so I will take it easy, arrive to the service. I am also sick this week, so I try to recover as much as possible in the liaison and in the service. And after that, I charge full attack to try to gain some minutes again.
Yeah, we can see that in the timings. Yeah. Now, how has it been in the heat this week? Because I can imagine not good.
It's not all day super hot, but for I would say day 1 LIVEmaniacs, day 2 LIVEmaniacs, and today, day 3, it's been super hot. The rest of the sections are not so bad.
And over the week, have you had any bad crashes you can tell us about?
No, fortunately, I didn't crash.
All good, all good. And how is the bike doing?
Really good. 100% safe, ready for tomorrow.
Amazing, perfect. And what is your mental attitude going in tomorrow? Because obviously this is the toughest hard enduro in the world. What can you tell us about what's going on in your mind as you're riding?
I am not super stoked with the riding this week, because I could say like half of the days I could lead, you know, but I was not consistent the whole day, maybe because the sickness, or I don't know why, but Manny was flying and Billy as well. So tomorrow the main goal is to put the circle on the podium, and the second goal will be to win the day if it's possible. I will try.
Yeah, but you've been doing absolutely amazing considering you are sick. So thank you so much, and get some rest tonight, and we'll catch up with you at the finish tomorrow. Back to you guys.
So Chris, Mario telling us that he was a bit sick yesterday with maybe a bit of heat stroke, and then recharged his batteries and gave a full charge to the end.
Definitely. That heat management for the last 2 days has been a really big factor here. It's so hard to ride a motorbike when your head's too hot. As Mario was saying, and I've experienced this myself riding around here, at the higher altitudes, it's not so bad. It was quite nice, actually, quite pleasant. But that's not where these LEATT LIVEmaniacs sections are. They're at much lower altitudes, closer to town, and the boys are cooking going around here.
So that's our provisional results that we have at the moment, and those times are really, really close. On the overall, if we're counting all 3 days together, there's only 13 minutes now between Billy Bolt and Manny Littenbichler. So all to play for on the last day, and Mario Roman sitting in third place on the podium. So Mario will be, on one hand, pretty happy to be on the podium, but knows also that he could have been fighting for the win if he hadn't had that sickness yesterday. Great shots of the finish line here at the moment, and you can see right in the background there, looks like there could be a bit of a thunder shower coming. The temperature has dropped here a bit, so we might get a bit of rain, and most of these riders will be pretty happy to be in before that happens, as we see Michael Volkner being scanned.
That's another really, really good day for Michael. He's got to be happy with that.
Yeah, great riding from him today. He's had a pretty steady race so far. You know, he's been really, really consistent, and definitely a contender for the final podium position. A little bit premature to say because anything's possible, but definitely in the fight for that top 3. Let's go across to Jesse to see what Michael has to say.
We are at the finish line on Offroad Day 3 with Michael Volkner. Now, So great to see you here. What can you tell us about the day? You have done incredibly.
It was quite a fast day. I started pretty good. I found a really fast, good rhythm, so it was good to ride. But now till the finish was quite long, so yeah, it was a little bit too long for me.
And how did you find the LIVEmaniacs section today?
It was so hot there. The heat was the main issue.
Yeah, and how has that been all week? Because obviously with Romaniacs you never know what's going to happen with the weather, but it has been a lot of sun.
Yeah, in the liaison out there was a big thunderstorm, so it was raining. I thought the LIVEmaniacs would be quite slippery, but then was super dry, so it was just in the liaison out.
And what have you found most challenging this week? What kind of obstacles? Hill climbs, downhills?
For me, the downhills are the most critical ones because they're so steep and so long, so don't have to make any mistake.
Yeah, we have heard about these and seen some treacherous videos online of bikes just going over on the downhills. Now, coming in 4th position today is incredible. What is your goal for tomorrow?
To make the best out of the day, so I will try to keep pushing as the 3 days before. So, yeah. The result doesn't matter.
And how is the bike? How has the bike been doing all week?
Bike is doing really good, so I had no bike issue, no problems, no technical issues, so it's pretty good.
And did you spend most of the day out there riding alone, or were you passing other riders, having a bit of a battle in any places?
Most of the time I'm riding alone,
yeah?
So that's a little bit difficult to see what's the speed from the others. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but I like to ride alone.
Yeah? What goes through your head as you're riding alone?
Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing all the time, yeah.
Yeah, I can absolutely imagine. Well, thank you so much, and we will catch up with you at the end of that hill climb that you're going to have to do 3 times tomorrow. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
So Chris, just before we wrap it up here at LEATT LIVEmaniacs at this beautiful location at Carpentier Arena, what can you say about the days? The boys are all pushing super fast.
Another incredibly exciting and challenging day at Red Bull Romaniacs. You know, day 3 is normally moving day when we see big changes in the results, problems starting to come through, and today's been true of that for sure. And it's all lined up for a really, really exciting showdown tomorrow.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fight to the finish. So please join us tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern European Summertime. Follow on our webpage of the race progress and some of the news and stories from the other riders. All that's on our webpage. Join us tomorrow because it's going to be a thrilling fight at the final hill climb of Red Bull Romaniacs, the 22nd edition. So see you tomorrow for the biggest fight yet.